good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to the Sympoisis Symposium, sponsored by the School of Higher Thought here at Downer University. I'm Dr. John Nuremberger, Director of the Institute, and it's a real honor to welcome you here today. The Collective Protocol Lecture every year focuses on topics in Holocene ontology, philosophical lithistics, and of course, fungal coniferation. I'm of course here to introduce our esteemed speaker, Dr. Annie Estrada Harper, who is of course our keynote speaker here today, who will be addressing you just later before, momentarily. Before we bring Dr. Annie out here, I just want to recite a brief passage from her latest book. The ontology of the forest is, of course, ontological, phenomenologically speaking, right? It is, of course, Sympoisis. We know this. It is our vocation, our calling here as academes, as epistemes, as institutional assets, some of us, right? To not only listen, but to be, and we're running out of time, right? So time is, of course, not linear, right? But it is of the essence. So without further ado, I'm just going to let the crew get Dr. Annie set up here. Dr. Annie Estrada Hardwood. Wow. That's so true, right? That's from her latest book. Have you? Okay, I can sense some confusion in the audience, and that's on me, right? Dr. Annie and I actually predicted this, right? We figured there may be some questions about her metamorphosis, right? And we actually wondered if we should start with the Q&A and do the keynote address just later before momentarily. And I'm wondering, is that okay with you? Yeah, okay. So we're just gonna jump ahead to the Q&A. And I wonder if, perhaps, I don't know, if you perhaps may have a question that's written for you.
Yeah, I have a question.
So Dr. Annie will call on you in just one moment. Okay. Where was that question again?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes. Wait, is that you?
Yeah, it's me.
It's really you?
Yes.
There she was. There she was. He was dead. His name. Woodley, Woodley,
Okay, so, hold on one second. Okay, so that's her ex-boyfriend. And also arch nemesis in the higher thought research community, who stole all her research and claimed it as his own. Oh no, sorry, that's not right. He cheated on her. With her ex-girlfriend. That's not right. I don't know what happened. I actually have no idea. Neither does she. Our memory's just a little bit since the metamorphosis. But please, what was your question anyway?
It's not a question. It's more really of a comment.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. I mean, he's so awful. What was she thinking? What were you thinking? I mean, he wasn't even that good in bed. Sorry. But they couldn't keep their hands off each other. I mean, it was nonstop. Because, they met and the world was on fire. And they were both writing their dissertations. I mean, it was a fucking frenzy. A literal fucking frenzy. She remembers once saying to him, when he was inside of her, describing this image of a man mowing the lawn with a tornado looming in the background. Oh, no, that's not right, sorry. A man's mowing the lawn, and behind him, a house is on fire. And she said, don't you see? That's what we're doing. We're just mowing the lawn while the world burns. You're mowing me. I'm the lawn. But sometimes also you're the lawn, and I'm mowing you. I mean, everything turned them on, even that, when she compared their lovemaking to lawn care. I mean, not the disasters themselves, they weren't turned on by that, but the life that seemed to thrive amidst and in spite of it all. He really only said one thing that stuck with her. He said that any time she thought of him, he could feel it. And that really fucked with her after they broke up, because she wondered if it worked both ways. Because she really did, and she really still does, believe in telepathy. With certain people with whom you share a seemingly extraordinary mutual attraction. Something that's come up for her again in her new form as a mushroom, but we're running tight on time, and we'll get back to that just later before momentarily. But she did think of him recently and wondered if he felt it. You see, she'd come into a significant sum of money in the form of a grant to support her research. And the amount of money in the grant was the exact same as a deposit on a piece of land in the country that she and him had looked at when they were together. And it was the perfect intersection of rural, but not too rural, far from the city smog, but still driving distance. And she could so clearly picture a potential future there with him. And she has other lovers now, obviously. And she assumes, so does he. She thought maybe they all together could buy the property. Maybe build a house together with an outdoor kitchen, a wood fire sauna. They could grow their own food. He plays music. So do many of her other exes. Maybe they could play music together. Sort of form a band. Maybe they'd have children. They'd basically build a queer homestead together. That was also an at-home studio and an at-home residency for artists and scholars alike. But then she found out that the land was bought. Or, sorry, not bought. It had burnt down. Not burnt down. It drowned. And he got married, right? To a nice lady. But we don't have time to talk about that. What was your question again? Oh, right. It's more of a comment.
in this keynote I'll address, I don't know, I lost the beginning of it, but a kind of non-depressing hopeful. That's important for an ending. I saw all of these paths, and what was my question in the first place? Loneliness. Or communicating in a 500-kilometer radius, or being under the uncomfortable impression that the thing that I am doing is not the right thing to be doing. I guess I'll start with both. Mushrooms have survived meteors, ice ages, and nuclear disasters. We're patient, something I was not in my previous form. Mushrooms sometimes wait thousands of years for the right time to sprout. This was apparently my time. I don't know, but I suppose if I do return to my previous human form, later, before, momentarily, perhaps there's something in my time as a mushroom that could carry over. I don't know what the life expectancy is of mushrooms, so I'm not sure how much time I have in this body. I smoke cigarettes sometimes. And then there's, the whole field of mycology, which is of course my field and those of all the others here at the conference. It started really with women doing botanical drawings of mushrooms, which no one particularly cared about at the time. So they did these kind of obsessive drawings. And one of them, she said in, I don't know, the middle of the 18th century, I'm always under the impression that the thing that I am doing is not the right thing to be doing.